continuing to support us, art, and with that in general. Let's put these analysts up here, get things switched around, and talk about the Web3 here today.
1 second. Just want to do a quick intro. We've got Val. She is an event producer with Red Rock Events. We've got Bobby, head of community support. We've got Rudy, he's the artist at Pizza Ninjas. And last but not least, Blue Toshi. He is a Spaces host and just a legend.
Yeah, come on up, everybody. Hey!
GM, anyone?
GM. Can I get a GM in the house? GM, say it back. Let's go.
Making my job for me, I had that. But in case you guys didn't know, in the Web3 space, first of all, raise your hand if you're in the Web3 space. Okay? Raise your hand if you're not. You're like, what does that even mean? Web3? Web3? Oh. Okay. We're all the degens here. Okay, awesome. So what I want you to do is say GM to the person to the left of you, the right of you, in front of you, behind you. GM.
And the GM.
I always wonder if like doing the phrasing like GM. Like I think now like it passes a professional job, like in emails like GM.
Same.
I actually was a GM holdout. I refused to do the acronym. I don't know why. And then finally, it just breaks you down. You're like,
You didn't GM.
Okay.
Well, we're here in Miami. We're recording live. We're on X, so we also want to say GM to our virtual audience.
GM to our friend Mike.
Thank you for supporting BitBozzle and Odie-Force. We're so happy to be here. And yeah, it's in the 70s, so it's a little hot, especially with these lights. But we're gonna get through it. So let's introduce ourselves first. Hello, in case you're not familiar with me. My name is Valerie. I am an event producer in the Web3 space. I love creating similar events to this, where we provide education of Web3 in entertaining ways. And I also get up here. And I also do live streaming, so we are live streaming, like I mentioned. But let's go down the line, and I'd love for each of you to introduce yourselves.
Sounds good. Thanks, Val, and thanks for being a community member of Odie-Force for so long. So awesome to have you up here hosting with me. I'm the community manager over at Odie-Force. Been here basically since the beginning, but I've been working with the team for this past year. Brought the Ordinal project online with the team, and then a crazy day of art and fantastic. You just got a little, snippet of it through Alyssa's piece that you just saw. I love the community. We have super strong, creative community. Traders, gamers, artists, you name it, we've got it, and we love supporting them and helping to bring knowledge about the space to them, and then just building and trying to grow the space.
GM again. I'm Uzi. I'm the artist from Pizza Ninjas. I'm gonna pat myself and the team in the back and pick over here. We won collection of the year last night. I'm excited about it. I did go a little hard last night, so I'm definitely kind of sweating out currently, finishing even more. So if I'm a little off today, that's the best.
But you're a winner. You're a winner.
But I'm super excited to be here. Thank you so much for inviting me. This is awesome. I mean, we were earlier preaching the gospel of art, and in my case, one of my favorite ways. So I'm just excited for you guys. Thank you.
My name is Blue. Hey, everybody. I've been a Bitcoin since 2015, and I didn't even realize I was an maxi until I got really into NFTs, and I don't know, it was 21, 22 or whatever, and just loved it. But when Bitcoin Ordinals came out that first weekend, I begged Owl to every piece of art I already had. I begged him to inscribe it, sub 5K. I was there from the beginning, and since Ordinals came out, I have it, and I can't, and I shan't, and I won't look back. I just love it so much. Everything's on chain, and I host a show called Central Eds. It's actually a Video X Spaces. I love what I do. I'm a super curious person who loves to go down rabbit holes forever.
Maybe another member here, special guest. We got Snoop Toshi and
Hey,
Snoop Toshi.
Ed, Mason, my human name. I've been in crypto since 2012. I've been in emerging technology for over a long time. The claim to fame was developing the first self-contained VR headset back in about 2012. Since forming a partnership with NVIDIA to build a new category of computing, so that we've been demonstrating over the past few weeks. I attracted to Bitcoin for a whole number of reasons. We recently inscribed an entire operating system onto Bitcoin, and a mutable, censorship-resistant OS that is free and accessible to everyone to use. I just love anything that is all with Bitcoin, and I think us as the creators need to start discovering this new caliber of content that's going on with Bitcoin is, and simply you don't know about anything about Bitcoin. You may not believe in it as a store of value, but we'll look at it as a thing to get access to a shiny new thing. So, yeah, what should I look at?
So if you want to chime in, just let me know. We have to share this mic, so yeah. But today's topic is exploring IP in Web3. So I want to pose this question to the audience, right? What are some of your favorite brands and maybe cartoon characters that you love and maybe grew up with? And why do you still love them today? I want you to think about that and think about that brand or that character. And as you're listening to this panel, try to see what are some of the crossovers and similarities and how we can explore this IP and Web3 together. And so for me, I grew up with Barbie. Barbie and Mattel. My early Christmas, when I was younger, one of my gifts was a Barbie. And, you know, the young kids might say the 1900s, okay, the 90s, the 1990s. I was gifted this Barbie that had these puffy sleeves. And one of the first things that was taught from my mom was, don't open that Barbie box, right? It was this wedding dress and everything, and to keep it nice and pristine. And so I want you to think about those things that you grew up thinking about. It's like the collectability of some of these IPs. And so does the audience want to share what some of their favorite brands or cartoons are from your childhood? Anybody? I heard Dragon Ball. What else? Jetsons.
The Simpsons.
Naruto, The Simpsons. Okay, those are some very well-known IPs, and they've been proven to kind of, come against the test of time. And so think about why that is. What did they do that was even the newer generations are familiar with these brands? And so let's explore together how we can create that within the Web3 space. So let's go on panel, because I'd actually love to know some of your favorite.
Okay. I'll talk about my first collecting experience. Hot Wheels. I love Hot Wheels when I was a kid. A whole bunch of them. I would line them up in different, either type or the type of car. That was like my first collecting experience. I really love art. So I rewatching it for the first time. Rewatching it for the first time. Watching it for the second time. Fantastic IP. Obviously, anime.
Yeah.
That title bit I'm just from crypto.
I love you said Hot Wheels. Like I'm actually sitting here thinking, you said like, you should have more Hot Wheels. Like there should be like a badass like live action Hot Wheels movie. I would watch it. Yours is a little more aggressive.
Yeah.
I think for me it's Pokemon. Like Pokemon.
Yeah.
That nothing will ever like trump that like healing or that looking for that trail, but then you like not energy. What the hell? They did like 45 minute parts. But it was magical. And when they delivery and like the characters in the world, like, and that's the thing that's glad they were talking about today. The world is so much bigger than the characters, the NFTs, the world. It's so huge.
this is definitely what we do. So you perfect segue because mine is, I'm going to date myself here, but it is Star Wars. We all know Star Wars, but I was actually a kindergartner when Star Wars A New Hope came out. Number 4, really number 1. Confused it? Yes, you should. Not the Jar Jar Binks one. Doesn't even
We don't talk about that one.
Not the canon, not the canon. So first grade it comes out, and you gotta remember back then, movie theaters, when a movie came out that was that popular, it stayed in the theaters sometimes for over a year. Star Wars stayed in that whole, every birthday party for that year, I probably saw Star Wars 25, 30 times, right? And if people don't know, this, I love your question, I love how you phrase this, because it brings our childhood in us, and all stupid I do is act like children here, and then boozy because we love what we do so much. But George Lucas, I assume most people know this, but he actually, the distribution, the studios were like a space novel, like whatever, dude. Like there was nothing like it at the time. And he's like, okay, well guess what? Like distribute it and you can get more of the profits there, but I get the IP rights to all the characters. And that's why he already would have been super rich, but that one move was probably the most powerful and enriching for him and for Skywalker Studios ever.
So I've always been wondering about IP and web3, because I know it's something everyone talks about and we believe in, but I don't think we found a vehicle where it's going to happen. And what I mean by that is every piece of IP that everyone has now mentioned, this IP was owned entirely by one studio. Now, when we start looking at ordinal collections, NFT collections, anything where the holders of the IP with the permissions to do what we see fit with, why would that be of interest to a holding studio who has so much IP on their table that they can choose to make or not make anything they like while still having entire ownership? So I think there's an uphill battle that needs to take place that proves why it's beneficial for mainstream to adopt IP that is owned not entirely by one studio, but instead by a community of people. I don't know what the answer is to that yet. I don't think anyone's quite figured that out yet. And it's a shame. Because, I mean, if you know what, you know, there will be studios that will buy scripts to sit on just so that no other studio can make it. And that ownership, that complete control that Hollywood is addicted to, that is such a paradigm shift that is introduced with audio, with web3, with digital ownership. Like, it's a tricky one. It really is. I wish I had the answer for it. I want to say that, yeah, we will see the next Simpsons and it's going to be Pizza Ninjas. But the reality is, you know, unless Pizza Ninjas or the people that would make this new version own the vast majority of the surviving Pizza Ninjas, they're going to be skewed. They want to pop their own bags rather than pop the bags of other people. And so, like, it's an interesting thing. I don't think it's an impossible thing, but I do think the thing that someone needs to think about pretty quickly so that we are in a position where, and projects that are creating IP to give to holders or to sell to holders, I don't think it's fair for projects to say, great, that's your IP, go monetize it, buddy, good luck. I think projects need to be able to provide the vehicle by which the users, the holders, are able to then monetize their IP. Because any holder doesn't have the means to even know how to monetize anything. Not necessarily a fucking new thing, but the vast majority of people who are collecting, not collecting with a view to build IP around what they're building, but rather to be able to tag along to this greater community of what's happening. And so I think if you are a project creating IP that is going to be owned by the individual, you also need to be able to provide them an outlet that can potentially allow them to monetize, at least the education that will show them what they can do with their IP. You can't say, here's a JPEG, you're on your own, get that money, because that doesn't work. And so, yeah, my view, sorry. Slightly contrary, favorite IP, hashtag will let go of that. That's my channel.
Awesome. Well, I love that you mentioned about, you know, it's not just, hey, you create the NFT or the POP and that's it, right? It's sometimes on the team and the community to work together. So I'd love to bring it over to Bobby. Bobby is the community manager for the Oni Force project. And Oni has done things with studios and with really well-known artists and brands. And so they have worked with Josh Blaylock to do their comic book, which Josh Blaylock works with the G.I. Joe IP, and also with Paul Jenkins, who did the Wolverine, the origins of Wolverine. So, Bobby, where do you see like that blend happening where you're still sticking with this decentralization of the technology, but putting your hands and dipping into some of these Web2 industries and working with reputable, credible artists such as that? And how is this helping to bring the Force IP out there?
Yeah, really interesting question. So one thing that we have brought into reality this year is the comic book. So about 70 of us got together beginning of last year, and collectively as a group, we decided the names of the characters, what kind of story was going to be, villains, the names, the context of the story. And luckily enough, through that connection, no plan about it, through that connection, we found an artist and we found a writer who were both professional. They weren't just like community members. These were people found in the community, brought to us, and then together as a group, we were like, hey, here's our concept. The writer took it, created it into something professional that works for comics. And then, of course, we also had a connection to a great artist who actually just got picked up by Marvel for Spawn and a couple other projects. So he's really crushing it.
And who's the artist?
His name is Vaughn Randall. So he's fantastic. He really helped bring this to life. And it's kind of a blend of both the American comic style, but also black and white. So it's got that homage to classic comic style as well.
I don't know if the camera can see more of that. You see, cover like the color, everything about that is just awesome.
So these are some prototypes going out to community members. So this is our first physical IP that we have brought to life, incubated by our community, and we want to continue doing that. We're providing tools to community members to try to write their own stories and then give them access to artists and writers to bring those to life. That's at least one of our concepts. We're working on some others, but just the fact that we have something that we produce that's real and feels professional is just such an amazing feeling. Especially me, I came as a community member and now been working as a team member for the past year. It's been a passion project that's really just bring this to life.
Absolutely. I mean, it's a wonderful comic book. I have one. Can people go pick this up if they're interested?
This is a collector's special edition. It's gonna come in a collector's box. It's gonna, these are prototypes. Okay. It'll come in a collector's box, poster, and stickers, all sorts of goodies. So this particular version is very special. We have some prototypes. If you're only holder or these panel members happen to get involved, copy, but we'll be selling some next year as paperback that are just more useful and a little bit cheaper, not collector's items, but they'll be available on the open market next year, and we'll continue to push out the story. This is volume 1 of 6, so there's a whole story that's going to unfold. It's already written. We're just in the beginning phase of getting this out to the people.
I'm excited. I'm looking forward to that. Well, speaking of working with your community, I really want to ask Boozy this question. So Boozy is the artist for a collection on blockchain called Ordinals, right? And so the Pizza Ninjas. And so I want to ask a bit about the process from the artist's perspective. We're in the Web3 space. It's a lot geared towards decentralization and getting the community involved. When you are making and creating the art and making a collection, do you have that in mind? Like, are you thinking about, all right, what is this IP going to look like? Am I doing this for the community, or am I doing this for myself because this is a character I've imagined before and I think people should be exposed to it? Like, what is that process? How are you thinking about that?
That's why this is a good panel, because like Lemon said, it's an opportunity to nerd out with your friends and also like do something that I hate just like throw things around like create value. It's like we don't create value. What we're doing is like when I made these collections, when I was doing the PFPs, like mostly traits and generative factors, but we can't pick, all 1,500 digits. But me and Trevor would like go on benders talking for like 4 days, like, not sleeping, just like on call, just like, and every one we go through, we like, we're making stories with characters. Like each one, like, goes has some things, like, he's got like toilet paper on his head, like maybe he's like the bathroom with manager or some shit. Like, we just like go crazy. We just ramble off ideas about all these characters and like with the intention to create something bigger than just the PFP, right? Just not just the artist, far bigger than that. Like we want, and Stu mentioned like there's an unlock here. I think it does come from community. Creating the community is super huge. I mean, it can't be one artist building this out. It has to be like that's why like I use the term lead artist. I'm no longer an artist. Like I'm one of the artists, sure, I can get leads, but this is gonna go. We're gonna have a team of artists. That's time goes on. It's gonna be a lot of people will be community members, will be followers. A lot of people that help write the lore. That's the community. Like we want to like almost like crowdsourcing, like building an IP through your holders, through your community. And I think if we can leverage that, I think we're all kind of crack. We can leverage that. We can overtake this in just a matter of time. Like it's not just big ass, but I think we can do it. We rally enough people together that actually care. That we're like, that's why I feel like this is important too. We have to have ownership of some kind. Even if it's just a PFP, to make sure I can take my PFP and put on a coffee brand, beer brand, right? We can do that, but it's bigger. How do I get all 1,500 holders to join us and build it together? I think that's what we're getting there. So once we crack that, sorry Disney, you're out.
So now I want to bring it over to Blue because Blue has his live stream show that he does and interviews many different artists and leaders in the Web3 space. And so I feel like you may have really great insight to see what is happening with these leaders. And so with, them building with the community and building these IPs, what are you seeing among these artists and how they're trying to lead the community? Like Boozy said, trying to get these communities to be passionate, to build with each other. Have you seen what is working for them? Have you seen?
It's interesting. I love what Boozy said. Like, I'm not the lead artist anymore. Like he was, and he was the artistic fire-minded. But now, like, and I love that Bob, you came through the ranks, and now you're a part of the team. Like that's such a beautiful thing. Like the cream rises to the top. Of Boozy's now, it's like now he's not even lead artist anymore. Now he's like one of the collaborators to make things better. Like I think everybody agrees at some point. Like we all say Disney. It's like yeah, it's like we're coming after you. Like I don't know if anyone knows they kept pushing Mickey Mouse out for IP rights, and I think it was 25, that was 50, 100. I think now original Steamboat, I think it's out, and I think it's 100 years, right?
I mean, it's funny you say that, because I started noticing some new community that came out over the past 10 or 15 years, and I've noticed they've been using Steamboat Willie as the entry thing. I'm curious if they're trying to find a way to reincorporate that into their own IP, even though it's a very hard thing for them to choose to use. So
I think they're going to go kicking and screaming. They're going to protect it, but I almost feel like, Oni or Pizza Ninjas, it's like Borg, if you're a Star Trek nerd. It's like an ant colony, like, and I'm not going to get the CCO today because that's such another huge angle of it, like open source, Creative Commons open, like nouns and stuff like that, where it's like anybody, if I own a noun, even though it's worth $10,000, anybody can use it anywhere, on any shirt, on any coffee shop, on anything. But within your communities, we own IP rights. Like we've seen Yuga, try to do the sandwich shop and the coffee shop, and that was some success. People try and redo airdrops to add value to the community, but the problem is dilution happens. But now that you're promoting from within, not every community member is going to get involved, but more and more all are, and they feel like they're a part of this bigger team community. It's when you throw passion on top of like being a part of a community, Disney can't top that because like obviously there's a passion for these brands, Pixar especially, right? And some of those they have, but that it is homegrown within where you're doing it for free and now you're like, wait, you're gonna pay me now? Like you can't beat that and that will topple everything. And I can't wait to see as it progresses, which is gonna be finally the silver bullet because we have a lot of darts, some are like near hits, but they just keep getting better and every group is learning from every other group. So I know a lot of misses. Yeah, here for it. And the funny thing is like if Bobby and all the Oni guys succeed, you know, I don't speak for Boozy, but like we're all like go, you know, like a rising tide lifts all boats. We're not splitting a pie, we're splitting a universal infinite pie, and we're gonna win.
I love that. We're gonna win.
Good. We're gonna win.
Yeah. I actually love that you said that, you know, like all of us working together to build out this IP. And I want to go back to Bobby because with OniForce, in case you didn't know, OniForce actually has two collections. One is on the Ethereum blockchain, that's the original collection, the OniForce. They have a second collection on the Bitcoin blockchain called Ordinals. It's the Fallen collection. And so one of the things that I've seen that OniForce has been successful in doing is getting these two communities to come together and work together for the single mission of bringing the IP out to everyone else. And so, Bobby, as a community manager, how has that been for you? You became community manager this year, right?
Yeah.
And to Bobby, he is the heart and soul of this project, really keeping this community together. And so, because I know Boozy, they're gonna their second collect the pets, pizza pets. And so I think if you could give advice to Boozy, like how do you gather this community and keep them charging just even when you're releasing a second collection? Sometimes people say releasing a second collection is diluting the project, you know, or diluting the IP and not really focusing on the OG one. And so, but you guys have been so far successful in that. And so,
Yeah.
what do you think are some of the points that you've emphasized or that you've done to help that?
That's a really good question. Like before we launched the Ordinals collection, our project was very focused on the Ethereum network. We had some people trading Solana here and there with Ethereum tokens, but I really got to give it up to Starboarding, who had the vision initially for us to create an Ordinals collection. We had been thinking about making another collection. I was told about like art was already being worked on, but Ordinals came out, and Henry talked to several people in that ecosystem. Very new, lots of really passionate builders like Snoop like Boozy, like
Who developed, by the way, the Ordinal collection.
and honestly, like I was there when he announced originally, like, hey, we've inscribed 7 acts. We're gonna do a whole collection there. A lot of us were like, okay, like we don't really know what that means yet. Like we've been in this, Ethereum, echo chamber, and the more he brought us information, the more people he got connected with, and the more that we researched it as a community and told our community about, okay, here's how you transact on Bitcoin. Here's these different wallets. Like it's very familiar. It's not that different. It's just slow. It's just slow. That's the thing. Yeah, it's just slow. But the beautiful thing is we brought a lot of new people into Ordinals without having to be like shilling some like, hey, like go buy this project we don't know anything about. We're like, hey, we're gonna do white in like service. We're gonna basically make a new collection that is the antithesis of our heroes, our Oni. These are the villains, and merge them together in an IP way, but also bring new people to Ordinals and bring an active and growing community in Ordinals to our IP. And so we brought almost 1,000 people into Ordinals from our collection, and then we've had, I think, almost 1,000 people from the Ordinals ecosystem enjoying us. I know many have actually gone out and bought Ethereum Onis as well, so it's been good to see that cross collaboration, and just like people excited about building and just uplifting the project. Like it wasn't easy. Like I had to learn a lot from December until February when I started. I had to learn how to talk to people about it. I had to learn how to, just give technical details. And but you don't learn by just sitting back and just hoping it happens. So,
Yeah, I think any good project in the space needs to realize that we live in a ecosystem. There will always be a winner. And yes, we saw FTs and Ethan winner last time. That doesn't mean it's going to be the same case this time. And I think when you have founders that can have that foresight to realize the best thing they can do for their community is to be at the forefront of innovation and find the medium that they can then be the first of, and then to live that value back to their communities, I think that is a recipe for success. I mean, it may not work every single time, but when you have a team capable of executing and delivering on that, then you're giving your community the best chance of success. And I think this is something that I've done really tremendously well, so I think hats off to everyone. So, something I wanted to add.
thank you, Stu. And thanks for helping us put together the collection. You're a legend. Val?
Yeah, so Boozy, as you're hearing this and hearing Bobby talk, it sounded like, Star was really the one who was giving the information to the holders and why we need to go over to the ordinal side. You have been already, right, in the blockchain, Bitcoin blockchain and ordinal side, and now you guys are doing the second collection with Pizza Pets. And so for those who may be thinking or are not as familiar with Pizza Pets, why get in with the second collection if there's already a first one? And so what is it that you're excited about? Are you guys building something that's really unique with it? Like, what is it that you're going to do with the Pizza Pets?
Yeah, so Pizza Pets, like, I'm gonna jump around again. I'm still I do want to say, like, Pizza Pets is like, it was always part of it. Since the beginning. Like, you're joking the other day, like, I was fine, Trevor, and we're like, but like, okay, we have all these ninjas. What if this? What if that? What if these ninjas had like pets? And this goes back to like December 2023. Like it was like I was still drawing the art, and we're already talking about like one. That's like me and Trevor are both kind of like Pokemon nerds, so like Pokemon aspect in there. Like each ninja can have their own pet or something. So it was always part of the lore. It was always something we wanted to build out with the lore. It's a very big story we're building. The whole like animation, like, a lot of the action animation, we're trying to have a cartoon, and that's a huge part of it is the pets. Because like from the IP side, we realize there is massive value in appealing to that like younger generation that loves cartoons, they love toys, they love IP. Like that's also a big part of why we're doing pizza. It's part of that. But then I want to talk about dilution a little bit. We mentioned that word a couple of times, which is like. Totally get that if you're a holder, if you're pushing like a flipper, if you're in this for the monetary benefit of portals and PFPs and NFTs, totally get that part. At the same time, it takes a village, and 1,500 ninjas aren't going to go during their Disney. We're going to get a lot more people to fight that fight with us. So we need to expand. We need to reach other chains. We need to get over to big part of what we were doing at Pizza Fest was we were airdropping this. There's airdrops, and we're almost force feeding this down other people's roads. Like if you're Ethereum, good Pizza Pet, come join. Like you're not we're just like throwing it at people. Get them in. Let's get them in this fight. Let's build this together, and let's just have fun too. It's fun. Yeah. We're gonna have an opportunity here, like in the next few days. We're gonna start playing Tamagotchi. We're gonna be playing virtual pets, that's the real one. We're playing virtual pets on chain, and we're gonna have fun together. We're gonna be having a lot of fun doing this. I know it's very exciting. They're like, "It's gonna happen." When they do, I don't know. Soon, you know when you go.
We like
That's it.
using like mechanisms. It sounds cool.
And that's the other thing too, is the burn mechanism part of it, where this place it's gonna be a lot of pizza pets versus just like they're gonna be gone forever. You take care of it, it's gonna go away. So this collection, it will connect a lot of people with the same aspect of it. That's all. Yeah. So we're connecting with as much as I quickly become like an Orioles and Bitcoin Max. Like, it's hard to buy game. It's hard now because I want to be on a Satoshi. I want to be on a rare status.
Yeah. There's recursion and parent-child. There's too many chess sets from like Star Trek at the 9 level. There's so much going on there. It's hard to go back.
Everything I do on Bitcoin, everything I own, I'm working on Bitcoin somehow. But like, but no, we're crossing like this pizza pet situation. This pizza pet situation is going to now connect us with multiple chains, and it's just going to grow that team of people that hopefully are invested in building with us. Like, it's going to grow that. Like again, we can't get in the ring if I did it alone. We need a lot of people to do it. This is going to be a huge path.
Right, absolutely. So I love that we've been talking about reaching out to communities, going to different blockchains, but that's still all within the web3 ecosystem, which is still a bubble in itself. So I want to ask Blue, in your opinion and your thoughts, how important is it to reach out outside of Web3? And we've seen, right, for anyone who's following Doodles collaborated with McDonald's to do their holiday cups. Huge win for Web3 and IP. We've also seen Friends, who has Gary Vee. Now, we don't own the IP with his project, but has done big collabs with Masters of the Universe, Squishmallows, and their shoe brands. And so, do you feel that is that direction we should do for everyone else in these other projects, like Omniforce, like Pizza Ninjas, because we're so on the blockchain and we're all about decentralization, but what about getting into, working with corporations, essentially?
That's a good question. I think it depends on the product. Again, I hate to keep going back to Yuga, but for a while, it was so successful what they were doing, and everyone was kind of, like I say, successful, and everyone was following them. But now everybody's realizing what is special, unique about our collection and our community. So Doodles is, Snoop always says, like, with technology, the next generation to come on isn't going to see and be like, hey, this is recursion, this is parent-child, this is, Opcat. They're going to be like, that's cool. Like, and they're going to want to have it. And Doodles, like, in McDonald's, like, if you just looked at, if you didn't even know anything about Bitcoin or anything or whatever, and you looked at the Doodles collection and the art, and you look at McDonald's and kids and, feeding them the Gribs and, Shamrock Shakes, like, it's a good match. It's a good art for a good match. Not everybody would be good for McDonald's, but it's a completely depends. And I even think within our multi-chain ecosystems, like we look at a lot of numbers on our show, and right now Solana is actually the new entryway. The most trades, obviously a lot of it's Bitcoin, but there's a lot of NFT trading on Solana because it's fast and it's cheap. Ethereum, as Snoop said, is the OG. That's where the crypto pumps are. That's where Oni was. And Ethereum will find its new product market fit as things evolve. But now Bitcoin has turned all the way around and come back. So Bitcoin brands might come Solana to Bitcoin. That seems like like a One Piece. So it totally depends. So there's a throughput from chain to chain to chain, almost laddering, if you will, depending on preference. But then brands knowing what their core competency is and reaching out to corporations where that's a good fit for them and it's a win-win for both sides, absolutely. And a rising tide again, let's all boats.
Okay. Yeah.
You said that it's an interesting point. Like, at the end of the day, corporations are shareholders, and corporations have a duty of care to those shareholders to get them as much money as they can. I don't know if a lot of you remember in the early days of 2021, at the peak of Wagme, when he started targeting household brand names entering the space with their own collections. They were the largest liquidity source the space had ever seen, because of course none of that money was going back into the ecosystem, it was simply going back to the shareholders' pockets. And wonderful for those corporations, horrific for us as a growing space. And so the one thing I would urge is, yes, there will come a time that we will start seeing the Gucci's and everyone coming into Bitcoin. But please look at what their intentions are after the fact. Because if you're not there supporting the builders, the people that are going to make this space the thing that will create the new medium that people will want to buy, we're just going to be giving more money back to the same old guy. and not going to get back into the ecosystem. And I've seen that happen too many times. I mean, you mentioned doodles on McDonald's. I don't know enough. I don't know whether the doodles featured on McDonald's are doodles sold by holders, and if they are going to get compensation. I assume not. You mentioned Gary Vee, he owns the IP. It's all control. And ultimately, I think this is the oxymoronic nature that we have with Web3, with IP, with PFPs, is yes, you own the PFP, but if the corporations who have the ability to give that worldwide visibility, they got their control. Why the hell do they want to deal with 10,000 people when they can just deal with one script that they have themselves? So this is a big, big problem. I don't know the answer to it. So I'd love anyone to tell me what that answer is, because if you figure that out, yeah, it's going to change things.
Well, and there's financial regulations keeping these collections from being able to pass the known IP. I mean, I will be glad when Gary Gensler leaves, and I don't want to. When we don't want to be over-regulated, but when we get regulated where actual value, like Bobby rose in ranks and now is getting paid and doing what he loves, helping the community, but there's also passive holders who have jobs, or nurses, or doctors, or whatever. We went broad there tonight with one field and two types of people. But I think if we have better regulations, so you can pass security through securitization and have partial ownership as, owning an Oni or a Pizza Ninja, then that's going to open so many doors in fundraising and how you get these started and how you keep them going.
Wow, we can certainly have a longer debate and conversation on all of this, and it is really, really interesting stuff. I highly encourage for everybody here to connect with everyone on stage. Unfortunately, we are out of time, guys. I had so many other questions you wouldn't believe I want to get into, but we have run out of time. We have another panel coming up, I know. But I we should. I know. We should
just fired up in the phone and just walked away. Anyway, so where were we?
But I do want to give the floor open to anything else you want to tell our audience in person and virtually, anything that you're working on, you're excited for, we're on the horizon of this digital art, Web3 and IP space. So anybody, floor is yours.
This is a fun one. I challenge anyone here, get on the ChatGPT, type in, create me an index.html with some P5.js artwork. Just that. Create an index.html with some P5.js artwork. Just put that into ChatGPT and see what you can do. And I want to see that, start iterating on that. And you'll see within an hour, you're going to come up with something that's maybe not necessarily something you can sell, but it's going to be something that has tickled an edge that you're going to find absolutely fascinating. The tools we now have available to us to be able to create content that we've never seen before is outlandish. And I would urge everyone, spend 20 minutes this weekend and just mess around with it. Just give it a go and see what you get.
Nice plug there. I will just say, check out Unforce, check out what we're doing. You can check us out at unforce.com, 0in1force.com. We've got Ethereum and an Ordinals collection, and we're cooking up some AI agents that our community can use and set up to do what they want. It's something brand new that we're working on, so check that out on our Twitter. And I hope everybody's enjoyed the day. That's mostly what I have to say.
If you're an artist, if you're a storyteller, if you're a creator of any kind, I would encourage you to join us. Join the ranks.
Join us.
Not Pizza Ninjas necessarily. Join. We have an opportunity here to build something that is like the world's never seen. We have the technology now to do it. It's like I know we keep saying we're early. We've been saying we're early for a long time, getting on. But we are early, so I would encourage everyone to this is a place for anyone with any kind of creative mind. It's right here.
Yeah, just stay curious and find your passion, go down those rabbit holes. And I think where we are right now with communities and IP and just with generative art, with blockchain technology in general, it's a confluence of developers and artists and thinkers and creators, and it's the first time where every day you're talking. It's not just artists talking to artists. It's not just traders talking to traders. We're all talking to it's something bigger than every mind is developing, and we all know it's happening. But it's like if you try and grab it, it's like smoke. Just be curious, make friends, and let's keep going.
That concludes our panel, building IT Web3. Again, if you have any questions, please talk to these amazing people. They're building a lot, and again, we just touched the tip of the iceberg of what these people are building and what's actually happening in this space. So if you still want to get into this and you're new, if you need to start a digital wallet, talk to us too. We'll help you out. So thank you everybody, and have a good rest of your
Thank you. And thank you all for helping to moderate, thinking up all these wonderful questions. It was really fantastic. Let's get a picture together, everybody, real quick.
Why are we next to the tallest person?
Awesome. Thank you all so much. Oh, one more. Awesome. Thank you all so much. I got a box. Gotcha. All right, we gotta switch out the SD cards real quick, so 5 minutes break before